listening to DORiS Radio.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
What's up, guys? You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP 101.5. I'm your host, Marco Garcia, and I'm excited today to be joined with Tashana Phillips.
Ooh.
How we doing, Tashana?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I am super excited, to catch up with you on air today and get to learn more about you and hear the awesome music that you're going to be sharing with us. We have 3 artists for the guest today, and you want to tell us about who these 3 artists are going to be? You don't have to tell us the songs yet, but who did you pick for us?
All right. The first artist I picked was Cece Winans' Alabaster Box.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first song that I did pick.
Okay. And who's your next artist?
The next artist that I have is going to be Maverick City Music.
Mm-hmm.
Most Beautiful, So in Love.
Uh-huh.
And the third song that I pick, that one is going to be Big by Pastor Mike Jr.
Awesome, man. And first we're going to rewind a little bit before we get into the music, and we're going to get to know a bit about Tashana. And so before we dive into your little girl past, tell me a bit about yourself now. Where are you from?
I am from Salisbury, Maryland.
Uh-huh.
So I grew up in the reservations in Salisbury.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I am the owner of DeCarla Streets, which is also in Salisbury, Maryland. We are currently operating under the cottage food laws. And if you don't know what cottage food laws is, basically non-potentially hazardous foods such as your cakes, cupcakes, all of those things.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I see right here you got the living purpose. Y'all can't see right now, but Tashana's got a big old smile. She got this big positive energy. I was on your page and I saw like a lot of the just empowerment movements, the bank statement weekends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of like very motivational, I guess, connotations to your business.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that.
So basically, at the end of the day, I want to glorify God's love.
Uh-huh.
And that's the only way that, I'm not going to say the only way, but that's the way that I can reach the masses by expressing my love through my food.
Uh-huh.
So culinary arts is my thing. That's my jam, And baking just happened to take off a little bit quicker than my cooking career, which I can't complain about, But, so in my mission statement for DeCarla Streets, I definitely want to, I want people to be able to experience God's love through every facet of DeCarla Streets.
I love that.
No matter how small or big it is, whether you go into our shop, whether you come and meet me, whether you meet someone from my staff, you definitely will want to. I desire for people to experience God's love. And that's just being nice. Hey, how are you? How may I pray for you? Simple things like that.
Beautiful, man. Sweet. You're giving it through. You're giving that energy. You're putting out that positivity. Just by when I was going through your page, I was feeling inspired,
Yeah.
And so knowing that that's what's going into the food, that just make it taste even better. I feel like that's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Putting that heart and soul in that.
Yeah, because energy travels. Know. So with things like that, I try to stay as positive as possible because I don't want bad energy and negative vibes to be hitting people. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for impact. Although
I'm here for impact. I love
that. We're here for impact. So although we do have some bad days, but you got to get up and just keep going. So that's why I continue to inspire people because I have to inspire myself. And so through me inspiring myself, I get to express that to other people. So it's just becoming a better me basically every single day.
I love that. That's a word. I have to inspire people to inspire myself.
No, inspire myself to inspire people.
I love that.
Yeah. That's because it starts home.
It starts home.
It starts home. It starts with you.
Let's go there. Let's go back home. Tell me about where you grew up and what were your musical influences around your house. What were your parents playing when little Tashana was running around?
Ooh. So I'm about to put some age on myself a little bit. But they had my grandmom. She used to play church music. I really can't say which songs they were, but I definitely know that on Sundays, of course, you got the church music. But it wasn't like church music on your regular radio. They play records.
Come on now. I'm a bottom person.
Yeah, they play records. So
what were y'all bumping?
Like I said, I really don't remember too much. But I definitely know that you will hear the gospel on Sundays. But matter of fact, what was it? The Wave, I think it was. The Wave back in the day, so they would play a multitude of music. It wasn't just it was jazz, it was rock and roll, it was Christian music. It was a multitude of things that Mr. Will, my grandfather, used to listen to, and we would do all of that while we were baking and cooking.
Okay, so you were listening to this music, getting that love for food instilled along with that love for music.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, man. Tell me about you said Mr. Will.
Mr. William.
Mr. William. This your grandfather?
Yeah.
Cool. So you grew up with your grandparents?
I did. Well, my mom has always been in my life, but of course working and stuff like that. But my cooking comes from my grandparents. Same. So yeah, Miss Adonia. Miss
Sidonia and Mr. William.
Yeah, Mr. Adonia.
I love
Miss Adonia, Mr. William. I called them my grandparents. They were my grandfather's parents by marriage.
Okay.
So I grew up with them.
That's beautiful, man. Having that generations and like that, having that connection and still having that while at a young age is beautiful.
Exactly. And then I always see my grandma. My grandma normally, she was always cooking. And she had a daycare, so she had a business. She was our first entrepreneur in our life. So to see that and to see where it's taken her thus far, it's just been amazing. So it's always been love around me. It's always been good food around me. So that's one of the things I want to continue on with my legacy.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, I love that. You know, hearing that coming down the steps on Sunday morning. I can picture that. I grew up with my mom and my grandma. Okay. In the same house, and so it was always my grandma was kind of like the dad, and she set the tone. And so I remember on Sunday mornings that was it. You know, it was Donnie McClurkin was playing, and I wake up and she already cooking and cleaning, and we already knew the routine. Okay,
you get up and you bust your butt.
We getting ready to go to church. It's about to be on, and it's
all right. That's it. Yeah, so I remember coming home. One of my fondest memories when I was younger was coming home with flour on my shirt and going back to my grandmom's house. So I'm leaving my grandmom, my great-grandmom, to go to my grandmom's house because I had been with them all day. They were entrepreneurs as well. They would bake. So I would come home to like cookies the size of my hand, like oatmeal cookies, and all of the kids would come to my grandma's house, my grandma Sidonia's house, and get cookies, like gallon bags of cookies, and they would be so big. I remember fresh peanut brittle in the house, like laying on the table as soon as you come in. It would be so hot in that house because we had no AC. So we came from the bottom, and now we're just working our way up top, you know.
But that's love, you know. I can only imagine, you know, being the kids in the neighborhood, being able to go to your grandma's house and get that love, because that's what that is. Like we were describing earlier, what you're doing now, seeing your grandma do that with the kids in the community, like that's beautiful. Because you never know, some kids might not have that at home. Exactly,
and majority of them didn't. So still to this day, I run into some of the older people that I was around, and they're like, "Remember them cookies your grandma used to make?" I'm like, "Yeah, I remember them cookies." What?
Shout out to Miss Sidonia.
Yes, those cookies were life changing. And I've never had a cookie like that since. Even to try to make the recipe, you know, like how you can have a recipe out, still can't. It's the love that she brought. So that's the secret sauce right there.
I love that. The secret sauce is love,
That's
y'all.
the secret sauce right there.
Come on, you gotta put that love in there.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. I think that's going to continue to help heal the world. Love is going to continue to help heal the world when we can see people for who God has made them to be, not who we want them to be, you know? So we got to take God out of that box, and people as well, and lower those expectations to a certain extent. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you don't want to be disappointed too bad. But if you continue to just love God and trust God, He's going to show you who those people are. So you know you know where that standard is. You know where the expectation lies. Yeah,
that's beautiful, man. Tell me, what came next? Tell me about, I guess, maybe high school. Were you still
high school.
With
them? At this time in high school, they had begun to pass. Okay. So they weren't no longer physically here, but you always keep those people with you, right? Because they help shape and mold who you are, your morals and stuff. So high school, I started culinary arts. Okay. So yeah, we did CTE. I graduated from Parkside. Shout out to Parkside, 2007.
Let's get it.
Yeah, so graduated from Parkside. Chef Hilligoss was my culinary arts teacher. And first we did like CTE. The beginning of CTE, we called it ATEX. So you would go through a series of 4 classes to see which one you like the most. And of course, culinary stuck with me. So I just took that and ran with it. And I was cooking for a very long time. Like cooking, where did I start? My first job, the dinner company. I don't think that business was beyond its time. It was food prep beyond its time before it even started. Like before people even started food prepping for the most part, it was there. So I started at the dinner company, which landed me the job. I got the job from culinary arts at high school.
Sweet. Man.
Yeah, and then I worked to finish out my high school year. I was at Salisbury University.
Sweet.
I was at Salisbury University in that kitchen from like 2007 to like 2009 because I went to college.
Man.
I ended up going to college at the Art Institute of Atlanta. So, yeah, that was a woo. But yeah, so culinary roots started very young, and then high school continued to condition those things. It's like, all right, cool. You got something here, you know? And people love, for some odd reason, I'm not going to say for some odd reason, but people truly just gravitate to who I am.
Definitely. I feel that.
So I always try to stay positive, and that's what people, they see that, and they're like, how you stay positive all the time? I'm like, look, now I lay on my face and just let God have all of the things. But, yeah, started working at SU, ended up going to the Art Institute of Atlanta. That was my wild and crazy college days.
Oh, sweet, man. Tell me about Atlanta.
Oh, man, listen, I promise you, I probably would have been famous if we had cameras back then. Like, legit, like camera crews following us.
What was Tashana getting into?
Well, they call me Mama T because I had class on the weekend, so while they were partying, I was in my room like, y'all calm down. Y'all be careful out there. Y'all go out. Like,
taking care of everybody.
Yeah, taking care of everybody, right? But I really didn't. I partied because the party house just happened to be my apartment. But I always made sure,
the party came to you.
Yeah, like, it was already there. Like, yeah, that was legit where it was at. So I definitely maintained a pretty good GPA. So I had pretty good grades. And then one day, I come home, me and my roommate Desiree. Desiree was already there. I come home from school.
Shout out Desiree.
Yeah, from Philly. I come home from school, and this young lady Bianca is in the kitchen, and she's staying on the phone with her friend that she was going to cook something to eat, but she was hungry. And so, long story short, we had 2 grease pots on the stove. No, we know better. We're in culinary school. You're not supposed to have grease on a stove, right? So the young lady ended up having this pot of grease on the front left side. She's left-handed. We were right-handed. So we were all in the wrong. But she left the stove on. She didn't intentionally leave the stove on, but it continued to heat up over 90 minutes, just about. And it caused a fire. Long story short, I ended up coming back home after that. After struggling for about 6 months trying to figure out what.
So the fire was bad?
It was. Well, I got put out of housing.
Oh, wow.
I was 12 hours away from home.
Dang.
And I'm trying to make it on my own. I did have a little bit of family support. Thank God for my Aunt Sharon. She's my Aunt Sidonia. She's my Grandma Sidonia's daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see it's coming all full circle, right? So I did going back home. I started working back at Salisbury University because they always loved me. They were my people. They held me down for a little while. So shout out to Salisbury University, their staff.
Hell yeah.
So after that, I left SU because I noticed they didn't see my potential, right? I was like, it's time for me to go. I go and work at Holly Center. Yeah, the Holly Center. So the Holly Center in Salisbury is for people who have disabilities, and it is an amazing program for those individuals who do have disabilities. They take very good care of those individuals. So while I was there, I worked in the kitchen, and that became a mental strain. So mentally, just up against quite a bit at that time, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, who am I, all of those things, right? Because society tells you that you have to be this, you have to have this figured out by a specific time, and you don't.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
That's
like,
real.
Where in your early 20s do you have things all figured out, especially when you come from just a background with not much money support, but you have the moral support there, you know. So I ended up leaving the Holly Center in the beginning of 2016, I believe it was, and I applied at Worcester County Jail.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, I go from a food service worker to correctional officer. A little different.
Wowzers. Okay.
A little different, but I was correctional dietary officer.
Oh, so you were helping them like with their nutrition?
Yep. So I was cooking in the kitchen.
Cool. That's something I don't even think about, you know, like that. But that's important.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Major, man.
Yeah. So I did that for about 4.5 years. And my only reason for leaving is because mentally it became it became stressful. I became unsafe in my mind. And so with that being said, I had already started going to counseling. I've always been a big fan of counseling and therapy because I've dealt with some deaths in my life of some very important people, including my dad. Yeah, my dad, he got killed when I was 4.
Is that something I can ask you to expand on? Okay.
Sure. So my dad, he passed when I was 4. He got killed, and this basically, I don't know, it bothered me more in my late 20s than it bothered me ever before. Up until recently, actually, matter of fact.
Yeah.
And so I had to go to therapy. I never really went to therapy to deal with those inner issues because from time to time it would bother me, and other times it wouldn't, you know. So up until recently, it became a slight issue because just moving forward. And so working with my therapist and her giving me techniques to work through and showing me that it's okay to grieve, but you can't allow those emotions to keep reopening up those wounds and putting you through the same pain over and over and over again. So it takes time. Like, you never get over your past relatives, but to honor my dad, always to honor my dad, right? So to honor my dad, DeCarla's treats comes from him and my Aunt Carla, who also passed at a premature age. So I took Darnell and Carla and paired them together.
And that's the origin.
I
love that, man.
Yeah. So
Darnell
that's how,
and Carla.
Yep. So that's how DeCarla Streets was born in 2009. So through my pain, through all the pain, there's
something beautiful.
Yes.
And you're giving people happiness.
Exactly. So
and that's where it's coming from.
It's working together, right? And so DeCarla Streets was born when I came back from college. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit. When I came back from the Art Institute of Atlanta, I finished at Warwick.
Okay.
I think I graduated like 3 times, y'all. Like I graduated.
Lifelong learning. Come on.
I graduated 3 times. Twice in 2013 and once in 2014 from Warwick. My friends was like, I mean, how many times are you going to keep graduating? I was like, as many times I want to. I did this.
That's right. Come on.
I did this. Like, I put a whole lot of hard work in this, right? But so yeah, shout out to Warwick Community College. That was an amazing college to go to and to attend. At the time, I had Scott Dahlberg, and he was an amazing admin, and I forgot my chef's name. I'll probably think of it a little bit later.
Okay.
But yeah. So past college, getting back to correctional officer, I recently just walked away. Last year before the pandemic got real crazy.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I still to this day just trusting God. But at the moment, I knew, like I said, they teach you in school, if you don't feel safe, no one else can be safe. So I didn't want to put anyone else at harm because my mental state just was not the healthiest at the time. And what it was. So let me break this down, guys. What it was my purpose and passion fighting with the reality of society stating that you have to have this career or you have to have these type of things so you can move forward and retire, long story short. Some people can work 20 years at a job and fulfill their purpose, but me, my lane was just a little bit different.
Yeah.
So that's where I continued to push forward with DeCarla Streets, and I was making part-time money at the time, and it's still growing, you know, like it's still growing. I'm still growing. And so with my business, as I grow, my business looks totally different. Looks totally different. Like, it looks From my eyes, it looks like just continuing to inspire and to love people through serving for DeCarla streets. So that's what that looks like. But yeah, DeCarla streets is big.
It's, hell yeah.
It's
We're
big.
going to go into more DeCarla streets when we come back from the break. We're going in with our first track right now. This is Alabaster Box by Cece Winans. Tell me why this song was significant to you.
This song was significant to me because the oil, you have to keep fresh oil. You have to keep fresh oil. So you have to have
like her oil and the cooking oil now.
Yeah, okay.
I'm loving it.
Come on now. You have to keep fresh oil. So with that being said, this oil was not just your regular oil. It was oil that was honored. You know, it meant something. It was priceless. And so to us, to God, we are priceless to him. So I just want to honor him.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We going in. This is Alabaster Box by Cece Winans. And we'll be right back with more of Tashana Phillips. Keep it locked.